Hey guys, it's Brick Thunder, and today I'm going to be unboxing, setting up, and doing a demo of Spirit Halloween's new for 2022, Mr. Punchy. Okay, so here he is. This thing has been a high request, and I can see why. This thing is awesome. It's half inflatable, half animatronic, which we rarely see. The last one we've seen from Spirit was a super long time ago, but here it is. This thing is a really cool concept. It's not meant to be realistic. It doesn't have a jump scare. It's just got an antique, eerie vibe, and I think that's really cool because we don't see that in many clowns. But here it is, looks cool. There's the sides of the box. But yeah, this guy is really unique, really cool. So let's get straight into the unboxing. Okay, so I'm going to open this up, and now you'll notice nothing is packed because I actually already unboxed this, and I filmed it, and the audio was completely gone. So I'm going to re-unbox it, but then we'll set it up for the first time and see how he looks. So we have the instructions right here on top. They look really good, really great quality, full color. We have one of the hands and arm piece right here. Looks cool. Very similar to Crouchy actually, just a bit more plasticky and a different paint job. Here is this is the inflatable part plus the shirt clothing area. Take this off there. Looks good. We have actually every other piece looks like it might come out all in one. So I think this would be the best way to do it. Slide this back here. And let's just try to take it all out in one piece. Well, actually, we have the shoulder piece right here. But everything else should slide out like that together. There we go. So we have another arm right there. We have the disco type light at the bottom, really like this. That thing can light up an entire room. Here are two hip loops. Here's some sandbags, adapter in box. We have the head. Let's show this thing up close. This thing's really, really cool looking. Again, not realistic, not meant to be horrifying, just an antique, creepy look. And this thing is really, really cool looking. It's got actual LED strips that light up around the eyes, mouth, and cheeks. So it looks really, really cool at night. Okay, so next we have the mechanism right here. This mech piece looks really cool, and it has a very wide range of motion with this motor down here being so low compared to the height of up there. The thing moves a lot. But let's set that down carefully. Don't want to break that. We have the base here, which is very unique. We have not really gotten a base like this before. It's very different, and it acts like a huge bowl right here because you need a lot of weight for this guy. With that wide range of motion, you need probably, I think it's at about 24 pounds minimum in this base. So you do need a lot of weight for him, so just be prepared for that. It does come with sandbags, but not many people just have sand ready, so I'm just going to be using normal weights. Here is one pull, and then our final pull is right here. But those are our last two leg pulls, and that is everything in the box. So let's get to the setup. Okay, so we have our base started here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is actually slide this down. This is the light, and this just slides down onto the poles like that, and then you're going to want to snap lock that, and it can slide all the way. So it just does that, looks like that, looks good, and this does have a metal base as well that this kind of rests on here, so that's good, doesn't just go into plastic. So now we have our leg pulls right here. These are pretty thin, although I'm pretty sure he's party time, so that does make sense, because they usually have the thinner pulls. Snap that in, there we go. Snap this one in, and then we can grab our mechanism, and that's actually our next piece. Right over here. Let's be careful with this. This is a pretty crazy mech, so we don't want to break anything here. There's also a lot of wires, and you'll notice two are going down. One's for the fan. That's going to be added on later with the clothing. There we go. Okay. Now, we have that snap locked in, and you can see it's already kind of wobbly. We're going to want to put in weights before we even have everything on because this guy is pretty unstable. So now let's put in our hip loops. So I'm not sure. I think the bigger one goes down right here, like that. And then the smaller one is going to go higher up around there. So we can add the clothing now. I think that's what we should do because it might get more difficult later. So basically, it's got an elastic band, and you'll see why later. That's for one of our next steps. But we're going to slide this all the way down like this. And as you can see, it's already trying to tip. I'm not sure if you can tell on camera, but it is trying to tip already. And it is pretty unstable prop until you have the weights in it. Then it's fine. So there we go. Bring this around back. And we just want to find the opening up here. Here's one arm. Here's the other arm. Because we want to be able to expose the next poles in order to add on the next piece right up here. So that looks good. We're going to fix up all the clothing in a bit once we have the next pieces on. But for now, we're going to move up the camera and we'll continue up. Okay, so now we're going to take this piece, making sure the square is facing towards you guys. And we're going to snap lock that in right there. So that's what the head goes on. So we want to make sure the head is facing the right way. So now let's actually slide this next hip piece over. And this is kind of more like a chest piece right there. So it does make sense to be smaller than this hip loop because that's going kind of in the inflatable part. So let's bring the clothing up now, and then we'll adjust the bottom later, and I can show you guys how to do that because that is a bit difficult down there and a bit confusing. But for now, we're going to just Velcro a bit of this. We don't want to Velcro all this since we are going to have to access that. Just enough to stay up. And now he's getting really wobbly. So I'm going to grab a weight over here. We don't need much yet. Just like 5 pounds should do it right now because we don't have the arms or head on yet. And that's what really makes this unstable. But there we go. Looks good. The head shouldn't matter right now because he is stood up more than back or forward. So right now we can just slide the wires down and put this on because it is kind of in its center of gravity right now. So it shouldn't matter too much. And we're going to try to click this down. It's a bit difficult. There we go. He doesn't have a snap lock. It just kind of clicks. And we're going to Velcro that on like that. So that's looking pretty cool. He is fairly tall. He's definitely not 6'5" like it says. That would be measuring to the top of his hair. But there he is. Let's get his arms on. So I'm going to put some more weight in his base, and then we'll be right back to get those arms on. Okay, so let's move on to the arms here. I have the base weight in there. So now he should not fall over. And they do recommend, I'm pretty sure I said 24 pounds. And I think that is correct. So I have a bit more than that in, so he should be totally fine. And now let's slide these arms up. They're probably going to need to be posed a bit because that's pretty inward right now, but that's fine. Let's find our prongs here, and these attach just like any other arm prongs. You may, I don't know, I don't think it probably needs clips. You probably could put clips if you wanted, but this guy, even though the movement is very big, it shouldn't fall out, so he should be good. There we go. Looks cool. He does have a lot of extra cloth on here, as you can see, which I love. I really wish more props had that because it makes his arms look more natural than super skinny and unrealistic. So that looks good. Let's use our other arm over here. Probably have to bend that up. And now this one is going to go on like this. There we go. Slid all the way up now. So now he looks really good. He looks like he is fully set up now, but now we have a pretty confusing part down at the base. So I'm going to move the camera down so I can show this up close because this may help with some people's setups if you're using this to actually set up Punchy. Okay, so right over here you can see it's got an elastic band right here, and that goes around the entire base. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to pull it around that base, and then there's this little lip down here. And you want to bring it down to the lip, but not under it. You want to bring it over so it's resting on top of that, and you want to make sure the entire thing is resting on top of that, or it could very much mess it up. So there we go. make sure it's all resting on, and once you do that, you can see the fan is right here. And you're going to want to have your fan plugged in by now, because now you can't access the inside very easily. And then there's this pull rope, and you're going to grasp this right here and then pull this as tight as you can to form it around. So because it's on top of that lip, it's not going to go down with the circle. It's going to actually get stuck onto that lip, and there we go. That's super tight around it. You want to make sure it's still above that lip everywhere on the base, and if it is, it should be really tight up there and not fully air sealed, but enough air sealed off to be able to inflate easily and effectively. Okay, he is wired up and ready to go, so let's plug him in.
Come closer. I have something to tell you. It's so funny. I promise you'll die laughing. Round and round and round I go. Where I stop, soon you'll know. I'm a clown just spinning around. You're a fool who's going down to hell. Round and round and round I go. Where I stop, soon you'll know. I have a secret. Come closer and I'll tell you. Closer, closer.
Alright, so there he was, Mr. Punchy from Spirit Halloween. This guy is really cool. I think his inflatable / animatronic thing is super unique, and overall this guy's look is great. I do think he looks a bit cheap, but I think that plays into what he's supposed to be, with that old carnival prop type look. He's not meant to be realistic, and the cheap factor does kind of make sense for something like this. But he is really cool looking. $280 turns into around $220 or something like that with a coupon. So not a bad price either. The only concern I have is I do have friends that have a broken one already, just straight out of the box. So I'm hoping not too many of them break, because this mechanism is something that we have not seen much, especially at this scale. He moves a lot, and bringing this thing back up with all that weight is pretty tough on the motor, so I don't know how long these are going to actually last. I'm hoping they can last at least a few years before needing a new motor. But overall, his look and concept is great, and at night, as you could tell, this thing looks amazing. But there he is, Mr. Punchy from Spirit Halloween. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.